Hello, carefree cooks everywhere. We're together back again. Today on Tuesday Talk Live, how to become a style icon. The best way to answer the what's for dinner question forever. And it's not a magic trick, but it makes magic. Those are the three things we'll be talking about on Tuesday Talk Live. How is everyone today? We've got the comment box. Give me a hello, a chat, a floaty finger, the thumb, I mean, or something like that. Welcome, carefree cooks everywhere. This is the Tuesday Talk Live for those of us that don't like to follow recipes, those of us that don't like to follow other people's written instructions. To do anything, we find our own way. We're carefree cooks, and we can repeat our Carefree Cooks manifesto together. I'm a carefree cook. I create my own recipes. This brings friends and family together. I learn every time I cook. I define my own cooking style. I practice pro methods, and I love my cooking. That's when you're a carefree cook. And you know, I got a question about this week, and it's the first thing that I want to talk about. How to become a style icon, how to create your own style, because someone asked me this week in your Carefree Cooks pledge, manifesto, whatever you call it there, what do you mean by I define my own cooking style? What does that even mean? And it's a great question because I thought it was clear, but I definitely need to clarify it for you. Think about any restaurant that you go to. The restaurant has a style. Like if you went to your local Mexican restaurant and they had fried rice on the menu, you would think it was a weird place, you know? And subsequently you go to the Chinese restaurant and they have Polish pierogies on the menu. You would think they don't have a goal. They don't have a target. They're not making a statement with their menu items and with their cooking. And this is what I mean by style. So how you become a style icon, how you create your own style, excuse me, in cooking, is to have commonality, is to have themes or flavors that you like to cook with. Now, the first thing that you can look at to create your own style, to define, you don't need that there anymore, to define your own style in cooking is geography, is region. If you're from the southwestern United States, I'm guessing that there's a lot more phones ringing and things like that. If you're in the southwestern United States, you probably got peppers and beans and the ingredients that are indigenous to that. If you are in the northeastern United States, maybe your style has to do with lobster or like a creamy seafood stew, or maybe the next thing that you consider is your heritage. You know, what's your family heritage? Are you from a Latin background? Are you from an Italian background? Are you, the next is who were your influences? Was it your grandmother of another, you know, certainly of another generation, but I mean like another generation in cooking. So you start to put these considerations together, and that's great that our Carefree Cooks community is cooking. I had a conversation with someone just last night. You don't have to make fancy stuff, okay? This was actually another culinary educator that I was speaking to. You don't have to make consommé, you know? You don't have to do the fanciest things in cooking to enjoy your cooking, to consider yourself a really good cook. Even if you open a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup to finish your sauce, that's okay with me. At least you're cooking. So while you're cooking, the next step you can start to think about is, what's my style? You know, what statement do I make with my cooking? I know some people that love hot peppers, and just about everything they cook has some kind of jalapeno or habanero or something. I don't like that that much because it shuts my taste buds down, but I know the guy's style, right? When you see chefs on TV, although they'll never teach you how to cook anything, but they each have a niche and style. One's the Southwest guy, one's the barbecue guy, one's the guy that will eat absolutely anything guy, you know? So, short of being the guy that will eat absolutely anything guy, what's your style? What commonality runs through your cooking? And I think putting this next dimension in your head, this next thought of, when I cook dinner, am I trying to accomplish something more than just put food on the table? If you start to think that maybe I'm trying to define my own style, Maybe I'm trying to, as if I had a restaurant, the things would be similar, not exactly the same, but there would be a similar theme or style. Even it has to do with the way you cook rice, or your side dishes, or your sauces can always state what your style is. So the best way to become a style icon is think past just getting dressed in the morning and making a statement by what you're wearing. And now let's bring that over to cooking. Not just putting dinner on the table, but thinking about the statement that you're making or what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe your style is colorful. Maybe your style is plating. Maybe your style is red sauces or white sauces, whatever it might be. When you start to cook, think about the statement that you're going to make. That's my advice for this week, is try and figure out what your style is. And the next thing that you're going to have to worry about is this constant question of what's for dinner, right? So now you're working on your style, right? You're trying to say, Chef Todd says I can't just cook something. I got to try and think what kind of statement I'm making for it. But that can be hard to do when everybody is asking you all the time, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, or you're asking yourself, oh my goodness, what am I going to make for dinner? This is the number one thing I hear from people, is they don't have ideas of what to come up with dinner. And we're going to solve that for you right now, because I've got a thought process, and this just came to me recently in all my years of cooking, because I get this question more than any other, or this lament at least. Chef Todd, I can't come up with ideas. I don't know what to cook. So this what's for dinner thing, regardless of your level of cooking ability, everybody suffers from this. Even the greatest chefs suffer from what's my inspiration going to be? So here's how we solve the what's for dinner problem forever for you. Because traditional thinking would say that you start with the ingredient. What's for dinner? Well, it's either going to be chicken, or it's going to be beef, or it's going to be fish. And as a matter of fact, if you're a recipe follower, or hopefully you're a converted recipe follower because now you're a carefree cook, you would not go for a recipe. But if you did, when you took out that cookbook, how are all cookbooks organized? They're all organized by the food, right? Chicken recipes, beef recipes, pork recipes. And this is what makes it so difficult when you're trying to figure out what to come up with for dinner, because there are thousands of ingredients. You know, oh my goodness, am I going to make lentils, or am I going to make rice? Is it going to be shrimp, or is it going to be... It is dizzying, the amount of decisions that you have to make to answer the what's for dinner question, because there's an endless number of foods. Here's how we change that as a carefree cook. Don't worry about the what's for dinner. Change this to the how is for dinner. So going forward, stop asking yourself what's for dinner. Stop letting other people ask you what's for dinner. Train them to ask how is for dinner. All right, now this sounds really backward, and what I mean by this is pick your cooking method first. This is something unique to carefree cooks. Nobody else thinks this way, right? We all have a common way of thinking that other people don't. So let's follow this path of thought from me a little bit, because this is the way I come up with dinner in the evening. I think of my method first, right? We're all about cooking methods over recipes, but stay with me here, because if I think, how do I want to cook? It very quickly answers the what can I cook that way. So instead of walking around wondering what's for dinner, start out with how is for dinner. I feel like sautéing. I'm going to use a sauté method. I feel like roasting. You know, I need something I can just put in the oven because I got other stuff to do. I want to broil, okay, because I've got pressed for time, and I'm just going to put it under the broiler and turn it and move it. Or I want to grill. My how is for dinner tonight is grilling. It's a beautiful night. I want to grill outside. Or it's cold and it's chilly, so I'm really thinking about making a stew or something like that. When you choose the how to cook first, I want to saute, I want to braise, I want to roast, I want to grill, I want to stew, I want to broil, I said. When you figure out the how first, this eliminates many of the whats. Because if I decide I'm pressed for time and I need to saute, I can't saute a whole turkey. You know, I can't saute a large roast. I mean, it's not even smart to saute a chicken breast that's much more than ½ inch thick. Saute is reserved for things that are thinner and already tender. So if I say I want to saute because it's a very quick, conductive, direct heat method, immediately I know I need a thin piece of chicken, or I need a thin piece of fish, or I need shrimp. So you go from what's for dinner, a choice of thousands of ingredients, narrow that down, call it how is for dinner. Now you've only got 13 methods that you can choose from. Then you return to the what am I going to apply that method to, and it eliminates all the ingredients from everything, thousands, to only a few that would be appropriate to cook in that method. Are you following me with this? This is another small change in thought that you can start making that will actually make your cooking easier, that will make it easier to just get started cooking. Say to yourself, how is for dinner first? And then you'll figure out what is for dinner when you know the method in which you're going to cook. And it all follows. It makes it a lot easier. So that's how I do it. Because generally, I always have chicken. I always have like frozen shrimp. I always have ground beef. There are staples that I always have. So, my choice is not the entire grocery store, nor is yours. The choice is what's in your pantry. Choose the how first. Then go to the pantry and see what fits that how. That's the best way to solve the what's for dinner question forever. So we got a lot of people checking in. Let me refresh my welcome, everyone. Hi, Jonathan. Grilling, yes, not the what, but the how. Sure. Hi, Brenda. It's the side dishes that I have the most trouble with. Okay. Brenda, when I was a chef at was it the hospital? Yeah, nonetheless. I was a business dining chef and I was a hospital chef. We created what are called cycle menus. Any cafeteria that you've been involved with, they basically cook the same thing on a 3 or 5 week schedule. So the first week, Monday, is macaroni and cheese, and then the second week, Tuesday, is always lasagna or so on. And it makes it easier from production. So my advice to you would be to put yourself a little cycle menu together. Put the side dishes that you like. Just list them out. There's rice, there's beans, there's lentils, there's mashed potatoes, there's whatever it might be, and get the realm of what you're cooking, and then you'll have a better idea. Kind of like going through grandma's old recipe index cards, but we don't deal with recipes. We just deal with ideas and what you could have. So, hi, Deborah. Deborah's here. Deborah needs help with this. That's why we're here, Deborah, to help you out. Harleen, Joan is here as well. Again, I don't want anyone to misunderstand. I teach in culinary school, and I've held a lot of high-level jobs, but you don't have to be snotty to cook great. However you want to make your sauces and stuff, at least you're cooking. That's my main goal. At least you're cooking. Refresh the page, because sometimes I don't see comments until I click on something. Good. Comments. Nice. Hi, Doyle. Welcome, everybody. Ooh, a lot of comments today. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. Hi, Guy. Howdy, Chef. People are looking at it. Guy, are you standing and reciting the pledge? You're going to crack up your office. Padrino's driving to the store, stopped over. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Larry. Larry's in Baltimore, too, I think. Ann is in Bethlehem, PA. Good. Don is with us. Don Traub. Denise is here as well. Wow, a lot of people here as well. A lot of carefree cooks with us. Bob is here. Bob Dudley. Hi, Bob. Beth is here as well. A lot of Carefree Cooks with us today, and if you haven't seen what's been going on in our Carefree Cooks community, you would not believe the creativity that's being displayed there. So if you remember last week, we talked a little bit about trying to save the flavors of summer. You've got all this abundance of ingredient. Now is the time to start jarring. Now is the time to start preserving things. So Denise, she made some great relish. She had an overabundance of jalapenos. She's got some pickled jalapenos. Those will last for a long, long time. Who's next here? There we go. A whole bunch of pickles as well. I think this was Nancy did pickles. And then blueberry jam as well. This was a really cool blueberry jam. If you've picked too many blueberries or too many strawberries, don't let them go bad. Give them to as many people as you can, but then make preservable things like this. This was a fantastic idea. This is tomato jam. It's new to me. I've always jarred tomato sauce or barbecue sauce, but this is actually sweetened tomato and then thickened like a jam. What a great idea. Tomato jam, preserving those tomatoes. We also talked last week about treating your lettuce like flowers. People are out there doing it now. I got sent, you wouldn't believe how many photos of lettuce in vases over the last 3 weeks. Everybody's doing this. And you know what? I think this is Lisa's photo. Lisa, if you put your lettuce last Tuesday Talk Live in a jar like that, I bet your lettuce is still with us. I mean, if you didn't eat it already, but it's still with us because that's the way to store your lettuce. So thank you to everybody who sent me lettuce in vase photos this week. You're saving your food. Do this with asparagus. Do it with broccoli as well. Anything that continues to draw water, continues to drink, think of it as roses. Always think of them as roses. Oh my goodness, we're doing such great. This is Darren. Darren made a fantastic salmon dish. He's a new member, a new Carefree cook. And he started out with the basic saute method. This is where we try and start everyone else out, because this is where you learn the skill of controlling the heat. And when I see a piece of salmon like that is crispy on the top, you see the edges, you see the brown crispy edges around, but yet I look on the side, and it's still kind of pale, it still looks moist. Man, that's expertise in controlling the heat. Because if you get a piece of salmon that's been poached or cooked in a moist method, it's a little like gummy, it's a little like canned. But man, when you can saute a piece of salmon like this and make it crispy, that texture, the crispiness, the sweetness, the caramelization of sugars, Darren, fantastic job with that salmon today. Boy, oh boy, you're on it. Lesson 2. Darren's taken 2 lessons and he's cooking like that. Jason is making his own taco shells. Never thought about that, to be honest with you. One of my jobs way back when, we used to do a taco salad in a bowl. We would take tortillas and press them down into the deep fryer. But making your own taco shells, how brilliant. This is so great. That was so cool in our Carefree Cooks community this week. And then the taco theme continues because Don did, and I think Rose, whoever took credit for it this week, did a taco omelet. Oh my goodness, what a brilliant idea, right? You've got leftover ground seasoned taco meat from the night before or whatever it might be. An omelet is whatever you want to stuff in it. So a taco meat omelet I thought was just brilliant with the sauce and the cheese and stuff on it. A great use of Carefree cooking skills, right? You've got the method, you're confident in the method, but then you find inspiration in the things that are in your pantry, the stuff that you can take out, and you create this. I don't know of any recipe for a taco omelet. You don't need one because you're a Carefree cook and you make stuff up. It's really, really cool. Ed Moon always puts together beautiful plates. This is a halibut with a salsa that he made, and the thing that I thought was so cool about this was asparagus in the salsa. So, we all love the first 2 inches of the asparagus, right? You love the tips, but then when you get down to those stalks, especially down at the end, they get really woody and stalky. But there's a point in there that it's not the floret, but it's not the woody, stalky part. There's a good inch or 2 generally that's still very tender, very good. Cut that up and put it in your salsas. Cut that up and put it in any other combined item, that you would have. I've seen people shred asparagus, into strings and put it in slaw, stuff like that. This is all usable. That was a brilliant plate. It was really, really nice. I was talking about people using food as art before. This is one of our members, Sam Fairchild. Sam, sometimes you get lost that the food is cooked really well because his plates are always so beautiful. This, when I was talking about style, like what's your cooking style, maybe your plate up is your style because Sam always posts these beautiful plates. This is a shrimp saute with a green mole pesto, I think. Again, he knows how to make mole pesto, but then he uses other ingredients to make up a green mole pesto that I really hadn't seen before. Great idea, beautiful plate. Oh, this is Nancy's, I think, and I wrote down the word for it. This is an Austrian plum cake. It's the Zwetschgenkuchen. Yeah, all right. It looks fantastic, though. One of my favorite things is a Linzer Tart. and a Linzer Tart is like an almond dough cookie with a raspberry in the middle. That's what this reminded me of. So it's not just all carefree cooking in our community. There's a lot of carefree baking going on as well. And it inspires me. It makes me want to cook more when I see the things that you guys are doing. And I hope you all inspire each other with that, because there's really some brilliant stuff going on. If you ever needed an idea of what to cook, I just gave you tips on how to solve the what's for dinner. Go to our Carefree Cooks community and you'll see tons of stuff, because this was a great comment. This is one of the best comments I got this week. And it reminded me, because I say to people, you've heard me say, cooking by method is not a magic trick. Okay, and recipes aren't a magic trick either. It doesn't just like happen. But here is somebody, this was Linda. Linda is saying her husband is amazed now, because her husband says you just take these raw materials and you use magic to come up with these incredible meals. And Linda says, it's not magic, it's cooking course. You know, my first launched course, it's cooking course. No, it's not magic. You know, being a great home cook, being a carefree cook isn't just magical. Some people are cooks and some people aren't. No. Everybody can cook like this. It's not a magic trick, but when you get the methods, it is magic. You know, it's when you internalize the step-by-step methods, it's amazing the magic that happens, the joy, the pride. So I was so glad for that comment, Linda. Thank you so much for that. So, if you're asking yourself, let me refresh again. Let me see what some of these questions are. There we go. Got a lot of people in here. Oh, my goodness. Heidi is here. Welcome, Heidi. Hey, Christopher. Don is saying peel the broccoli stalks and slice them, much more tender and edible. That's true. You know, there's a lot of stuff that people throw in the trash, man, that you can make out of good food. You can make good food out of, just because in your childhood you didn't eat the stalks of the broccoli. I used to make cream of broccoli soup with all the stalks. When I was a chef, we had like an entire case of, trimmings. We would make a soup out of it. So that's good stuff. Sometimes show us how to crack an egg with one hand. Lawrence wants to see how to crack an egg with one hand. Pardon me, there's a side story for that, Lawrence. My wedding cake that maybe I'll show you one day had the cake that I baked for our wedding had 268 eggs in it, separated. So not only can I crack an egg with one hand, I can do it at the same time with two, when you got to separate 268 eggs. But that was a long time ago. Maybe I can still do that, maybe I can't. But thank you. If you're, who else? Let's see, where we going here. Hi from Gulf Shores. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Tracy is here. What do you think of the Instant Pot, Chef? I don't like gadgets. Pat is asking me what I think of the Instant Pot. I don't like the Instant Pot. I don't like the sous vide. I don't like crock pots. I don't like all of these things, only because for me, it takes away a lot of the enjoyment of cooking. I like cutting things. I like psh in the pan. I like the reactions. I like the evaporation. I like seeing something going wrong and then fixing it. To me, that stuff takes all the enjoyment out of cooking. But, I mean, if you guys like them, that's fine. Like I said, you don't have to be snotty about it. You asked what I like. I don't like that stuff. I like to actually cook. Carol does pancakes like that are stuffed. Hi, Kay. Hi, Joan is here. Taco omelet sounds good. See, Don, you're motivating people. Taco meat mac and cheese, James is saying. Yeah, here we go. We're getting ideas. You don't have to worry about the what's for dinner anymore. More ideas. What the heck is Saskatoon jam? Okay. Tomato jam on sandwiches. Great. Cool. Chef, what about deciding on the style of cooking? Alistair is telling us. That's a great suggestion, Alistair. Thank you. That's another way to figure out what's for dinner. Just say Italian, or say Asian or French or so on. Another way to narrow it down. People are paralyzed because they have the idea they have to choose between everything. Narrow down that choice. Picky hubbies out there. Who's got the picky hubby? Kim. Yeah, it's tough. People that are picky eaters. To me, my advice with picky eaters are take the foods they do like and then cook them in a different way, a different method. So then you make kind of a bridge to that method, and then you can slowly change the ingredients. So, for example, if he likes roasted tomatoes, try them stewed. If he likes stewed tomatoes, then you're one step closer to ratatouille. That's the idea. Padrino's in Virginia Beach. That's cool. Looking for more questions. refreshing. Yeah, Joan, Linzer Tart's rule. I had one on my birthday a few weeks ago. Looking for more questions that I don't see. I think I've covered everybody today. Cool. Well, let me ask you this. If you are not sure whether I'm live or not, if you're saying to yourself, did I miss the live or am I watching a recording? If you're watching the recording right now, you missed out a little bit. You should have gotten an alert. And I'll send you an alert next time we go live for Tuesday Talk Live. All you have to do is go to webcookingclasses.com/live, and that's going to take you to my Facebook Instant Messenger. If we've connected before, that's fine. You're going to see the messages. If we haven't, click the Get Started, and then we're connected. This is the quickest, easiest way for me to tell you when I'm going live again, what new items are going up in web cooking classes, new exciting things in the Carefree Cooks. All these things are there for you. But if you're unsure whether I'm live or recorded, you should have gotten the alert. So go to webcookingclasses.com/live. And next Tuesday Talk Live, we'll be together again at noontime on Tuesday to talk about more carefree cooking and the excitement and life-changing effects that brings. Chef Todd Moore reminding you there's a method to your cooking success. Help me further my life's mission of empowering home cooks all over the world with the secrets behind cooking that are taught in culinary school. How can you help me? Well, spread the word. First, subscribe with the button to your right so you get the new videos right away. Then leave a comment below. Tell me what you think and share the video with your friends. And if you like this one, well, there are a few more to your right here you're going to find even more useful, because it's not what you cook, it's how you cook that makes all the difference.